I'm guessing you're probably getting pretty sick of hearing about all these different foods that are evil and bad that you should be eliminating from your diet. And doesn't it often feel like different health advice gives really contradictory information about what foods are terrible and awful and should be avoided at all costs? Well, we're not going to go there today. We're not going to be talking about what to eliminate from our diets. We're going to be talking about what to bring in more, and specifically 5 foods that really do help with our mental health and well-being and really can make a difference on our feelings of anxiety and help reduce our anxiety. So we're not just going to talk about what those foods are, we're also going to talk about why it is that they help in the first place. If you're new to me and this is the first time we're connecting, my name is Kristina and I am a registered therapist, researcher, and online course creator. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology and I work to help men and women get through the crap that is holding them back so they can like themselves and their lives more every day. And we're going to talk about this one because our brain, our body, our emotions, our feelings, it's all very interconnected. So our emotional well-being is impacted by the foods that we eat. And there's some really convincing research out there that is showing more and more how much our emotional well-being is impacted by the foods we eat on a regular basis. So before we get into this, just one kind of caveat here that before you do any kind of major diet change, to always be talking to your doctor or a nutritionist or a certified health consultant about that before you make any specific or major changes. The other thing is when it comes to adding some of these nutrients into our diet through these different foods, I always recommend doing it through the food source itself. That supplements are good and they do have their time and place, but oftentimes the nutrients are absorbed into our body. Most nutrients are absorbed better into our body through the actual food source itself. So we're going to be talking about these specific foods today. And the first one that we're going to talk about is black beans. And you might be thinking, what? How do black beans help with my anxiety? Well, the reason why black beans help so much is because they are really dense in fiber and protein. And so have you ever felt that way when your blood sugar is off or when you're hungry or when you've had too much sugar or too much caffeine and everything just feels kind of uneven and everything just feels kind of off, and it can cause a lot of these mood swings with our emotional well-being can be so like swingy and up and down because we don't have enough nutrients in our body, because we don't have enough protein, because we don't have enough fiber. And so what can happen is when we eat foods like black beans, really dense in fiber and in protein, is it brings our blood sugar levels up, but it keeps them stable. So we don't go through those ups and downs, those rises and falls that can really throw us off. Sometimes we can even just start to feel anxious because we are malnourished and need some good, healthy fiber and protein dense foods in our body. So black beans are a really good one for that, keeping your blood sugar levels stable so you're not going through those ups and downs and having the mood swings that come with them. The next one is chia seeds. So you may have heard of chia seeds. You might be pretty new to them, but chia seeds are really rich in omega-3s. And you may have heard of omega-3s before. There's other food sources that have omega-3s, and I have a PDF that you can download afterwards where it has a list of all of these foods, plus a bunch of alternatives in each category that also are really nutrient dense in that specific nutrient. So there's a bunch of other foods that are dense in omega-3s, and those alternatives will be on that PDF you can download right after. So chia seeds, they are really dense in omega-3s, and what omega-3s do is they work on our central nervous system, and they kind of like loosen things up in our central nervous system, that they kind of lube things up a bit and get things sort of moving a little bit more smoothly. And that, when it works on our central nervous system like that, it plays a big impact on our levels of calm and our levels of sort of groundedness. That our central nervous system is responsible for a lot of our nerves, a lot of our emotions, a lot of our moods. So chia seeds are a really good source, and they also have the protein and the fiber in them as well. So you're getting a bit of a triple whammy there. So you get the omega-3s, you get the protein, you get the fiber, and all of those together really can make a positive impact on our emotional well-being, specifically when it comes to anxiety. The next one is spinach. And you've probably heard, eat your leafy greens. Leafy greens are amazing. There's so many nutrients in leafy greens. But what actually is it about spinach that is so good? What is it about these leafy greens? And the reason why leafy greens are so good is because they are very dense in magnesium. And magnesium is referred to in the mental health field and in the nutrition and dietitian field as a natural chill pill. And you've maybe even seen that people take magnesium supplements to help with their anxiety. And you can get lots of magnesium naturally through spinach and through other dark leafy greens. And again, the alternatives and all the other ones, a bunch of other ones that are also really dense in magnesium will be on that PDF that you can grab afterwards and have a look through those and just start bringing in more of those dark leafy greens into your diet whenever and wherever possible. So it's about the magnesium for that one. The next one is avocado. And avocado is a really, really, really rich source of potassium. And what potassium does is it has this natural way of decreasing blood pressure and also decreasing and dealing with muscle spasms. So I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but have you ever laid in bed at night and you feel kind of twitchy, you feel kind of wiggly, and your legs are kind of spasming and they feel kind of restless? There's even a thing out there called restless leg syndrome, where people just can't keep their legs quiet in bed. They just feel really jittery and really fidgety, and they can't stop moving, and their legs just feel restless. And oftentimes that is from a lack of or they don't have enough potassium in their body. So having some avocado, maybe even before bed, getting the potassium in there, because oftentimes, too, if you're feeling kind of fidgety, if you're feeling restless when you're in bed, you can't fall asleep. And then you start to get anxious. And then the more you struggle with sleeping and the less sleep you get, oftentimes that really plays an impact on our anxiety. That sleep deprivation can make us more anxious in our everyday life because we're not firing on all cylinders. We don't have all our coping resources available because we are overtired. So making sure we have enough potassium in our bodies so that we're not feeling restless, so that we can get a better night's sleep. And there's more alternatives. There's more foods that are high in potassium, and those again will be on that PDF that the link will be to right under the video here. And then our last one, and this is probably one of the most fascinating ones that help with anxiety specifically and our mental wellness in general, is something called kombucha. Now, you may have heard of kombucha. There are parts of the world where it is all the rage and popping up everywhere, and everybody is brewing kombucha and everybody is selling kombucha. But what kombucha is it's a fermented tea. And fermented foods, there's lots of different fermented foods, but specifically, I really like kombucha because it's easy to drink, it tastes good. Well, if you find a kind that you really like, it tastes good. You can also learn how to make it at home, and it can be really cheap to make at home. But those fermented foods have lots of probiotics in them, and they promote gut health. And you may have heard this talked about, like, what is the big deal about having a healthy, happy gut? What's the deal with that? Well, the interesting thing is there's so much research coming out right now talking about how 80 to 90% of our serotonin, so AKA those happy chemicals, those natural happy chemicals that make us happy and feel good and calm and grounded, that those are made in our digestive tract. That the serotonin, 80 to 90% of the serotonin that goes to our brain and helps with our mood and our happiness and well-being are created in our gut, in our digestive tract. So having foods that are fermented. There's lots of different options of that. Foods that are fermented and high in probiotics promote a really healthy gut. And that, obviously, if 80 to 90% of that serotonin is being created in the gut, then that is really important to have a healthy, happy gut. So now you know if you've been wondering. And there's this little mantra that I really like when you're thinking about food and diet and kind of trying to remember it all and how to kind of keep track of it all. There's this really cute little mantra that I made up that can help us when we're feeling confused. So it's really simple. The way to kind of have a generally healthy and balanced diet is green, lean, healthy fats, and carbs with all that. So green vegetables, having lots of vegetables, lean, so lean protein, whatever that looks like, making sure you have lots of lean protein in your diet. Healthy fats, so having those good healthy fats that work on the central nervous system and kind of keep everything flowing and moving and smooth. And then carbs with all that. So carbs that are complex carbs that are high in fiber and complex, so our body takes a while to break them down and they help to keep those blood sugar levels up. So green, lean, healthy fats, and carbs with all that. And all this information, including alternative sources for all of these nutrients to promote mental wellness and decrease anxiety, are in a PDF. I have the link down below. Grab that. Make sure you have it. Use it as a quick reference. Pull it out anytime, any place. Also, come and join our Facebook group, goodformegroup.com. It is full of the most supportive and encouraging and fun and deep and thoughtful human beings. Goodformegroup.com. We focus on mindset, mental wellness, and moving through life together in healthy and effective and positive ways. So come on over, join our Facebook group, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video. I really appreciate all your likes. Every like counts and every like is appreciated. And also share this one out. Get the word out about this for any of your friends or family that is sick of hearing all these things we shouldn't be eating and is ready to hear about things that are good to be adding into our diet that make an impact in our lives, on our mental health and well-being, and just our happiness in general. Share this out for them and make sure that this information gets into their hands. I'm so glad that you are here. And until next time, take good care.